Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video I wanted to revisit one of the strategies we've covered here on the channel, but with some hard facts, some test results, and I wanted to do it low investment style. That's right, we're revisiting New Vista Legion farming, but on a budget, making sure everyone can get their teeth stuck in, and we'll figure out how much money you can make, and spoilers, it's a lot of cash. So, let's go through the setup here. What are you going to need? Well, you'll need the Atlas Ascendancy tree in New Vista with 3 sets of points unlocked. So that's 3 rotations through Maven. That's going to give you a total of 6 points, and you want to spec them all into the Legion nodes. They're incredibly powerful. What else will you need? Well, you'll need a character that can break out legions. It doesn't need to look like what you're seeing in the background, but before the timer runs out, you want to break out the majority of the legion, and then you need to be able to deal with the monsters that are there afterwards. Pretty much any build with an explosion chest will be fine. Lots of totem builds, lots of mine builds can do it. Ignite proliferation can do it. There's a ton of builds that are available, and you don't have to pick something super meta. Lots of builds can get it done. That's the only requirement there. Other than that, you'll need a few chaos to start out with just to make it comfortable, but really the investment is incredibly low. As one additional requirement, it's absolutely not essential, but it will really take you to the numbers that you'll see in this video. You should also have Legion unlocked on the map device so that you can select it with Zana, and that's going to add an extremely high amount more juice to your maps and really take your farming to the next level. So those are the only requirements. If you have them, well, get ready to get rich, because this is absolutely disgusting and you can really make a lot of currency farming this, and we'll go over kind of what the drops are and how fast you can make it. So you can see here, this map took me about 4 minutes to run with Ritual, and I selected my reward and everything like that. If you can do it in about 10 minutes, you're still looking pretty damn good for making a lot of currency per hour. Speaking of which, let's get into the results. If you want to improve your clear speed, you can trim Ritual out. I decided to do it, and that will be included in my currency report here. So we did 100 dunes. Let's just take a look at the loot in game first as well. So this is the loot from the Rituals. We've got loot here. This is the maps. We got some currency, all the good stuff, the incubators, and, of course, we have some miscellaneous stuff here. Now, please pay close attention that I've trimmed out anything I don't think I would personally sell. Stuff like cluster jewels, skill gems, low value incubators and maps and all that stuff. I took that out. So that's not included in the final sum here. What is included though is maps I know I can sell in bulk. So those are my favorited maps on the Atlas, currency, contracts, good divination cards like the alteration one. I can just turn this in, it'll be fine. Emblems, all of that good juicy stuff is included, and that is, in my opinion, pure profit. You can extract that in a couple of hours, sell it over your next game session, and you'll be looking pretty good. So all of the money in this video is real cash you can get your hands on from farming with this strategy. So let's get into what we got and where the money came from. So on average, if you roll with Zana on the map device, we'll just take a quick look here. Zana on the map device right here, it's going to cost you about 6 chaos. A Rusted Legion Scarab runs you about 4 chaos, and the map itself is 4 chaos as well. Keep in mind, I sustained about half of my maps from this strategy. I got about 54 back from running my 100, so you're not going to need to buy maps every time, but if you do buy dunes by any chance, then you can pretty much get them in bulk for 4 chaos each. So, if we're doing that, our investment comes out to be about 1,400 chaos for 100 maps. Do you need to run 100? Absolutely not. Could you run 10? Absolutely. Could you run 20? Not bad either. You're going to make money pretty much guaranteed if you run any more than 10 consistently. You just have to do a few to kind of, get your grounds, make sure you get a few emblems, because the emblems aren't a 100% chance. If you're interested in the nitty gritty of this strategy, go check out my emblem video on New Vista, and you'll get a ton of info from that one as well. But this is more a breakdown of what kind of loot you can get, how many emblems can you expect, all that kind of good stuff there. So let's get into it. So it's a 1,400 chaos buy-in for 100 maps. And we made 8,806 chaos in pretty much pure profit kind of drops. So, if you sell them all off, how much do you expect to make? Divided by, minus 1,500, 1,400, sorry. We're looking at making a serious amount of money here. You divide that over 100, we're making about 74 chaos a map on average. That's getting close to an exalt profit per map. That is absolutely phenomenal, and that's pretty good for just standard Alk, Scarab, Zana, and Go maps. No sextants involved here, no fracturing of maps. Lots of builds can do it, and you're going to be getting a ton of currency and just raw drops. So where's all of this stuff coming from? Well, let's take a look. Oop, we're updating our snapshot here. So we've got 11 Exalted Orbs dropped. 2 of those came from Ritual, and 9 of them came from Legions. So lots of Exalted Orbs dropping from Legion. A lot of people ask me, is it still worth it to do New Vestia? And I say absolutely. Most of the money is in fact not even from the actual emblems themselves. They're just a bonus. We're not using any Watchstones, no Sextants, so it's all just from the Legions, which you're going to get minimum 2, maximum 3 most of the time in your maps. So we got 400 Chaos Orbs almost. That pays for all the maps just in raw Chaos Orbs. So absolutely incredible there. We got 16 Mariketh emblems and 13 Templar emblems. We got 21 Val emblems, 39 Karui, and we got 33 of the Eternal emblems. Now, when you command such a large amount of emblems and you've got full sets of 5, you can actually, start to do some interesting deals on the trade websites, which will net you a large amount of more currency when you sell them all at once instead of one at a time. So you can kind of get that economies of scale thing there going. So you could actually earn more than what we earned in this video. Definitely very, very good. Similar things with maps. The more of a single map you own, if you sell them all at once to one person, they're willing to pay a premium to save time. No one wants to buy one map at a time, so they'll pay you extra to get lots at a time, which is really, really good. Now, incubators are a hot topic. Most people think, you can't get, 4C for an incubator. I beg to differ. Incubators are incredibly powerful. A lot of people are sleeping on them. We'll tackle them in future videos and on PoE Profit. But that is a time, that's another time. But they will sell, and if they don't sell, you should be using them yourself, because you can get a lot of extra value out of incubators, which is really, really nice. So super duper good there. Most of the volume of the kind of like emblems, currency, raw currency, all that stuff like that does make up a lot of the value, which is very good. You do get a lot of natural alteration divination cards in Dunes as well. If we take a look at that, that's also a very good talking point here. Look at the amount of alterations you get just from raw divination cards in general, just from running the Dunes tile set. That's why we do Dunes. It's a very open map, fantastic, but most of the the divination cards in it are also very good. You've got the acclimatization one, and you also have a 6-link Imperial Legacy, so 6-link Imperial Bow divination card that drops tons. We got 88 of them, over 88 of them here. So very, very good there. That's at least 4 divines, and you can also sell the bows to people crafting bows as well, which is great. So all up, if you're a character that can slay legions, and if you can get the maps done fairly quickly, how much currency can you expect to make per hour? Well, let's say that you can do a map in 10 minutes. 10 minutes to do a full map and loot everything. I think that's incredibly generous. Most people should be able to do that as long as they can break out the Legion within the allotted time. Should be able to get through everything. And 10 minutes, 74 chaos per map. If you sell everything, times 6. You're earning over 4 exalts an hour, doing 10 minutes per map, so even if you're watching TV, watching some streams, you're going to make an absolute fortune there. And, in your 100 maps, you're going to come close to being able to just buy a headhunter or buy an entire build. Like, you want to do a build? Well, go run 100 Dunes. You can probably afford it after running it and selling everything. An interesting point here as well is that the old contracts and blueprints are not included in this total, and if you sell those in bulk, specifically for lock picking, I believe lock picking is worth 7 or 8 C right now each. Maybe it's not that much anymore, but we'll have to see. You can make an extra few hundred chaos selling contracts as well, so that's very, very nice indeed. So all up, I think if your question is, how can I make money this league? What's the best mapping strategy? Well, I would argue that one of the best, if not the best, is just blowing up legions in New Vestia with minimum investment. You don't need to get snazzy with anything. You just have to go in there, blast the legions, and you should be looking pretty good for currency. It's almost completely immune to economic changes because it just drops raw currency, and you can't really go lower than like the prices we have right now on emblems. So yeah, you're looking pretty good. Overall, if you want to try and get a little bit ahead though, and you haven't checked out the other video, some other things you can do is throw in some craftable watchstones. The emblematic ones will give you more emblems. They do definitely, contribute to a lot of the money. You can get a lot more emblems using emblematic watchstones that I have here. It's going to basically juice up the emblematic node by about 50% more. You could go with, alteration divination cards. That works out to be about 60% more alterations. It's okay, not too bad there. I don't think it affects every single alteration drop, but you could definitely get some more extra alterations there, which is pretty nice. You could go with pretty much anything you wanted. You could go with corruption watchstones if you wanted to get some more 6 links. But you really don't need to do any of these things. It's just a little bit of extra juice. In terms of sextants, would I recommend using sextants? You absolutely could. The main reason is that you could get an additional legion, which, is going to give you more currency, all of that kind of stuff like that. It's just going to add extra, kind of like a legion pylon, which is really good. But, the additional mobs in there, will also give you some extra loot as well. And I do think it's well worth your time to roll sextants on there as well, if you can. Now, a lot of people ask me, should I throw a delirium orb on? Well, depends on which delirium orb. I think if you're just rolling random ones, maybe it's not worth your time in terms of clear speed loss to go for them and buying them and all sorts of stuff like that. But if you get the right delirium orb and you hit about 8 rewards, you can start to get a lot of extra value. That is definitely a more high investment strategy, but the ones that I would recommend looking into if you can are definitely the amorphous delirium orbs and timeless delirium orbs. Those are very good. You can also look into fossilized, if you can juice up the rewards, this is pretty good, but if you're only getting 5 rewards, you really do want to look into, getting like amorphous, I think is really good, timeless. I wouldn't invest in any of the more expensive ones. Those do get a little bit RNG kind of laden, but amorphous you really can't go wrong with. If you want to get into delirium action, those are the ones I'd recommend, but don't pay too much for them. Make sure that you're always making a profit even at 5 in case things go badly. So overall, Legion, absolutely insane for currency, guys. If you want to get an item like a Badge of the Brotherhood or a Headhunter, make a character that can clear this, and you're basically going to get it in pretty much no time at all. As long as you're okay selling some items in bulk, you're going to have an absolutely fantastic time with it. So with all that said, guys, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the data. Plenty more videos on the way. We're going to have some big ones. Make sure you stay up to date on PoE Profit. Tons of stuff getting added every day. If you're interested in how profitable Nuvisteer is at any point in time, you can see here that this is the investment versus the actual outcome in raw Legion drops. So you can see here the emblems and the good incubators. That's basically what makes up the revenue. And then you've got the 6 chaos required Vizana and the Rusted Legion Scarab to kind of offset that here. And you can see here, it's still well and truly in the green. So you can make sure that you're checking this. And if this is in the green, you're pretty much good to go for massive profits. So with all that said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.